Wow, wow, wow. Okay, let me push copy. Then from copy, we're going to Patreon. From Patreon, we're going to, let's see, create a post. Create a freaking post. Okay. The phone. Bum chicky chicky bum chicky bum bum. Hello, hello everyone. Just trying to share the stream out, y'all. Loud, live, and in motherfucking color. Okay. Paste. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. What's going on? Publish. I'm gonna give the folks some time to pooch on up in here. What's going on, Dr. Chris? Spill the tea. What's going on, Shawana? Hey, hey, hey. How are y'all doing? What's going on, Nikki? Let me pull up the stream. Let me pull up the stream. Let me pull up the stream real quick. Like, it's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Studying, busy as ever. So busy. So much to do. So little freaking time. What's going on, Michelle's daughter? What is good? Leroy, what's going on, Leroy? What's going on, bro? What's up? My night is really good. For those of you who don't know, I was invited as a guest over on Yes Bitch TV's platform. You guys need to go over and look into my community feed to check out that live we just did. It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. And we pretty much just got into some personal experiences, mental health, suicide, etc. And just shared our experiences, talked about addiction, etc. Spirituality came up, and spirits and all of that good jazz. So you guys got to go get the juice over there on Yes Bitch TV. I love his platform. I have been a huge fan of this man forever and a day. So I was super excited that we finally got to actually do something. I'm really interested, you know what I'm saying, in doing collaborations and actually sitting with people and having open discussion, having open dialogue. That is a direction that I really had been praying for like 2 months ago. So to actually see it manifesting, like I just did the gentleman's panel, I lived for that experience as well. I really enjoyed myself. It was my first time really interacting with Jay Wilson, Rebel Son, King Payne, and then of course Captivating Christian. And it was just a lovely, lovely camaraderie. You guys go check out that episode as well, which is on Captivating Christian's channel. I will definitely have all that stuff is in my community feed. I'll leave the link in the discussion box tonight too. Okay. Just Be Real says you sub. Thank you. The sub to them folk. So of course I want to talk a little bit about this Miss Jada, Miss Willa, Miss August situation, honey, because I see the folk going in. What's going on, Natasha? How you doing, boo? And hey Lola, what's going on? See y'all going in about this situation, okay? Now, I know it ain't nobody who don't know what the fuck going on, but just to give a brief synopsis, you guys know that the R&B singer, August Alsina, he was on Angela Yee's podcast, radio show, whatever the hell she got going on today. Hey, nutritionist, what's going on, baby? And August had opened up about his relationship to Jada Smith. Now, the fans and very nosy ass people who have their goddamn bachelor's degree in nosology had already peeped August Alsina's relationship to Jada years and years ago, because August had been sending subliminals. I think there was text messages that had leaked that had Jada Pinkett's middle name saved in his phone, and at that time he was denying that it was Jada. And then he had certain things within his lyrics, his music, that were like all these innuendos. And so it was of no surprise, really, when he actually came out and really admitted it. Now, when he first admitted it, some people was kind of giving him the side eye, like, I don't know, maybe it is so. And Jada and Will decided to actually speak about the situation. Now, that's what the fuck I'm trying to figure out, because when the news had broke that he pretty much practices, you know, the blogs had went and was like, Jada is divorcing Will for August, and the blogs were saying that August had gave Jada an ultimatum and shit, and she was gonna leave Will for August. But when I actually saw the Red Table Talk, there was no conversations about divorce. There was no conversations about leaving Will. There was no conversations around being with August again. So I was like, okay, girl. However, the comments and the public have been going in like, oh, well, what did they expect? This freak ass relationship. See, this is what the fuck is wrong. I'll let anybody into your bedrooms and blah, blah, blah. This is bound to happen. Calm down, shawty. Calm the fuck down, bitch. Pull the tampon out slowly, girl, and roll the drawers back up. Niggas, wipe your ass and don't leave the shit stain in your drawers. Let's calm the fuck down, okay? Because y'all are not going to make this about polygamy or polyamory, okay? Because you guys forget that 70% of divorce between monogamous two people coupled relationships, okay, are not working out. Okay? Y'all 1+1 relationships are by large not working out, okay? So just because y'all get one fucking example of an open relationship that's had some issues does not mean that there's something wrong in and of itself with open relationships. Now let's talk about open relationships, okay? Now, I don't believe that monogamy only type of relationship to have, and I don't believe that it's the only relationship dynamic that can be healthy. See, I tend to look at the way we relate to relationships as having to do with love capacities and sexual capacities, okay? There are some people who are very low-level, low-maintenance, have a low-maintenance sexual needs, which means that they don't need sex a lot, and they don't even need it to be like the most intense sex. Just very basic, even kill sexual exchange. And, you know, sexual hormones. Have people who have very intense hormonal needs. Now, Scorpios, I'm a fellow Scorpio, we're kind of known on the zodiacal food chain as being the big whores of the astrological charts, but I think that that belongs to Aquarius men. You know, Aquarius men are whores, they're scumbags, they're narcissistic, they're untrustworthy, they believe in having all the sexual partners and all the romantic relationship partners in the world. So I'm going to give King Whore crown, okay, to Aquarius men. However, you also have people who have like a 10-gallon capacity for love, which means that you have people who can only focus on one person at a time. They have enough love for one person, and they can be completely fulfilled and satisfied with giving that love and receiving that love from one person. But then you have people who have very large capacities for love. They have a lot to give, and they have a huge capacity to receive, okay? Now, this type of a person who has a lot to give and a lot to receive may find themselves in very stress-ridden relationships if they try to get involved in a traditional relationship, which is a one-on-one, because typically when that type of weight onto somebody who only has the capacity to, you know, it's only them on the job, girl, you know, that can bring a lot of strain to a relationship. Think about polyamory and polygamous people as CEOs who have a really big business, okay? There needs to be a few cashiers, a few janitors, a few supervisors, but only employing one person to do 10 cashiers jobs. Only employing one supervisor to manage every single fucking shift, okay? You guys get where the fuck I'm going here. So these traditional 1+1 monogamous relationships do not fit, okay? Now, I think that the cheating thing, one of the reasons why I love what I love about this culture kind of evolving into polygamy and polyamory, not that everybody is polygamous or polyamory, but I love that we're having discussions and that we're realizing that it's okay for people to get in where they fit in at, because I personally think this is one of the many ways to actually curb infidelity, is people are beginning to understand, because I'm a horrible person, I'm not cheating because I can't keep my dick in my pants. I'm cheating because my dick doesn't belong in its pants with just one person. I'm cheating because my heart is too full and one person doesn't meet all of my emotional and mental and spiritual needs, okay? And then there's whole communities of other people who have large capacities to share, capacities to love multiple people. And so these people are able to find the appropriate relationship types, okay, where they're able to get their needs met. There's able to be trust, there's able to be stability, there's able to be understanding, because what? Everybody's on the same page. Everybody is like-minded. So in a polygamous relationship, you may have one man who has two wives, okay? These two wives, for whatever reason, have a capacity to share. I believe that you definitely have to be built for polygamy. Like, you have two women sharing a man, right? And they're probably able to do that successfully because both of those women are very have very low maintenance emotionally, okay? Because the more high maintenance you are emotionally and mentally, the more that you're going to need, the more attention, the more feedback, the more interaction you're going to need with a particular partner. But when you are a very low maintenance person mentally and emotionally, you don't need all that feedback. You can spend a quality amount of time away from your partner. You can spend days without even speaking to your partner. You can go a week or two without even seeing your partner. There are literally people who have relationships like this where they don't need a lot of interaction. They don't need a lot of dialogue. They don't need a lot of involvement from their romantic partner, okay? Now, somebody who does need a lot of interaction, they have a larger emotional capacity, a larger mental capacity, a larger spiritual capacity. They may need more feedback. So these two people being in a relationship wouldn't make any fucking sense, because one person would always feel abandoned and ignored for the most part, while the other person feels pressured and feels like they're being confined and that they are being smothered. We've heard these conversations come up in the therapy sessions all the time, right? One partner is too clingy and the other partner ain't clingy enough. And that's because you got people with different ratios to love and sexuality. Now, before I continue to move through, let me read some of this comment section here. Thumbs up this motherfucking video if you're here watching tonight, okay? Do the crew some favor. Hey, Perk, what's going on, boo? T-Cake Love says it becomes a problem when people aren't honest and or communicate. Absolutely, TK. So speaking to that, because we're just now in the Western world, even having conversations around polyamory and polygamy, a lot of people didn't even understand this about themselves, because these spaces and these opportunities for other types of relationships to develop weren't even a thing amongst society. So for a long time, people didn't know what the fuck to really tell a person who dry ass Wendy fries. They're so fucking dry. But I did get them. I did get these fries like 9 goddamn hours ago, child. So they dry, they unseasoned, they cold, but my fat ass is gorging them down. None the fucking less. So a lot of people didn't really have conversations to have because these weren't even concepts that were made available to people. So a lot of people just really suppressed their capacity and didn't understand their capacity. And because they lived in a society that demonized the need for more than one partner, a lot of people felt ashamed about the desire to have more than one partner. People felt ashamed to need more than one sexual partner. So there was shame that was accompanied by people who had these capacities, and then these conversations and concepts around polygamy and polyamory and open relationships weren't really there. And because the majority rules, in every case, the majorities always rule, the majority are able to reinforce the rules. And so even the majority of people had no reference for what it meant if they, at some point in time in their relationship, got hit with the, I think we should bring somebody into the bedroom conversation, or got hit with the, how would you feel if I had a girlfriend on the side conversation? Because once again, there was no information available, and this was something that wasn't even happening in society. So I felt like both people were unequipped to really even come to the table, okay? Now, without going too much down the rabbit hole of polygamy and polyamory, bringing it back to Jada and Will, a lot of people had a lot to say. Some people think that Jada is lying and still trying to save face and blah blah blah. For me, I was able to take it at first fucking glance. To be honest, my mother and my stepfather has separated. They both went and dated other people. My father was in another relationship with a woman for 1.5 years when he decided to move out of the home. Well, he was kicked out and expelled from the home. My mother put that ass out, and she went on, and she was in also another long-term relationship, and he was in another long-term relationship, but they were still technically legally married, but they were also like legally separated, okay? So when Jada Smith said that her and August's relationship pretty much developed at a time where her and Will was separated, and Will was very adamant about how done he was with. He literally was preparing to leave her ass. He was done with that ass, and he did not see it for continuing the relationship, being involved with the fucking relationship. And so I would imagine that Jada had no fucking choice, okay, but to figure out her next move and to pretty much start looking at her life romantically, being without her fucking husband. Now, when Jada started going into the conversations about how she has always tried to heal herself through healing other people, that may have hinted to Jada Smith being an empath. A lot of empaths have that type of a psychology where we do try to heal ourselves by loving broken people to health. And as Jada Pinkett Smith spoke so eloquently, that's a virtuous thing. And of course, it makes you feel good, but it's also still not the cure for your emptiness. And it still doesn't replace the need to love yourself and to figure out how to love yourself. But there are people who never develop that type of emotional intelligence to even realize that about their pattern. So there's a lot of people who still continue to try to find love for themselves by loving other people to life and by loving the broken. Now, for those of you who followed my narcissistic series back in the early part of last year, you guys know that I have talked on and off about the dynamic between broken people and empaths, and the dynamic between narcissists and empathic people. Empathic people have to be really, 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 really fucking careful romantically, because oftentimes we will fall in love with a patient. I call the people meant to be in a relationship to. We're meant to help heal these people as patients. And sometimes we fall in love with deeply wounded people. And so then the romantic dynamic bleeds into the healer dynamic, and then you can get a possible mess. Now, because August didn't do his work, when Jada decided to love his ass, August still ended up broken, bitter, resentful, aggravated, profoundly disappointed, because he was looking also for her love for him to also heal him and to replace his need to love his fucking self, okay? And that seemed to have taken a toll on his health. I thought it was fascinating. Before I go further, let me check the comments really quick. Like, I ain't got no mods in the building because some of these comments are being held for review. It says, just be real, left my narcissist. I didn't know she was a narcissist. Demons. But we thought that with a little Jesus, a little holy water, and some good pussy, Caroline could find the fucking light. Only to find out that Caroline, you know, got a full-on motherfucking tail, 2 fucking horns, and that this hoe don't want nothing more than to be in fucking hell. Honey, she's actually repulsed by the light and hates it. Perp says it takes a toll on a person who is being drained of energy. It does seem like August Alsina was a bit of a, it was a bit too much, honey, girl. Like you giving me succubus tease, baby. Miss Jada was the supply, and Miss Alsina was just, you know, latching on with his fangs bit into it and just, you know, sucking on that good subtle breast milk, you know, that was oozing from Miss Jada. And, you know, once again, this is what happens when broken people love each other. And even though we give empaths a really big narrative around being big lovers, having huge capacities for love and stepping into being heroes, a lot of times empaths are also just as broken as the people who they're deciding to love. And so you get 2 people who have abandonment issues, who have codependency issues, intermeshing with each other, and you get a entanglement, okay? A fucking entanglement. She Diary says, especially that he could die happy line. He said, right. Let me go up. Faith is the substance. Hey, faith is the substance. What's going on, boo? Dr. Lloyd said, true that. Lord, help the fries. Help the fries, baby. My grandson had those tonight. He killed them. Baby. Okay. Becomes a problem. Okay, let me scroll. Yes, I had many people to latch on, but I've known how to release the latch. You have to know how to let go and when it's time to let go, especially when you feel that your ship is sinking with somebody. When my ex had got out of prison at the end of 2018 and I had broke up with him, it was because I felt myself about to be destroyed in the process of loving him. And even though it pained me to fucking let go of him because I didn't want to, because this was the love of my life. This was the person I was meant to fucking be with. But yet he was so fucking high maintenance. He had so much fucking baggage. There was so much of his issues he really didn't want to heal. He wanted to escape. And escaping and healing create 2 different futures. Escaping versus healing creates 2 different fucking dynamics, okay? Because when you decide to not heal your shit, but to escape your shit, what happens is that shit just finds somewhere to hide itself until the right set of circumstances and situations happen. And then all that shit you haven't healed is triggered the fuck up. And you're acting like a manic sociopath monster. And it's not even about the situation that's happening. It's about all the undone, broken shit that's being triggered up by the circumstance and situation. And then the broken person will on to the lover and make their reaction and their response and their evil and their manicness about their partner. It ain't about all that, bitch. It's about the fact that you miss one too many motherfucking hugs for a daddy who was not healthy enough to love your ass. What it's about is the tragedy of having a wounded, drugged out ass mother who was not present for you and did not nurture you properly. What it is your ass being passed around by different fucking relatives growing up instead of having stability in your life. And this is why you act like a leaf in the fucking wind, okay? You might seat yourself in the house, but you have the spirit of a homeless person. You never quite feel safe, never quite feel comfortable, and you're blaming every time things go wrong and every time your issues create some fucking episode and some situation on the person, instead of looking in the mirror and opening up your fucking soul and seeing all of the fucking broken veins inside of your own fucking heart, and then properly seeking help and being willing to fucking be helped instead of continuing to escape. How many times are you going to run from boat to boat to boat to boat to boat after they begin sinking before you realize that it's not that the boat is made improperly? It's the fact that you keep sinking the fucking ship. You go, the ship is going to inevitably and be bound to fucking sink because you're the problem. Your problems are the fucking problems, okay? And so not having that fucking emotional range, not having that emotional intelligence, not having that fucking emotional awareness can cause a vicious fucking cycle of broken family ships in your wake, broken romantic relationships in your wake, broken in your fucking wake. And, you know, there's just not enough that somebody else is never going to be enough if you're hoarding all of your fucking issues around with you, okay? You are the only person who can undo that, who can resolve that, who can bring enlightenment and love and healing to that. The fucked up thing about broken people is that you can fuck around and stumble upon somebody who is everything they're supposed to be to you, but because you are deeply fucking damaged, you will self-sabotage that fucking relationship and continue to spend your life thinking that nobody loved you, that nobody continual rescuers to throw out the fucking rope to come find you in the middle of nowhere, to come and retrieve you, okay? And the pain and the toxic shit in you keeps finding a way to demonize the help, keeps finding a way to transform the fucking light into the fucking darkness. There's a passage in the word that says that there will come a generation that will call the things of the devil God and call the things of God the fucking devil. I hope I said that. That there will be a generation that will call the things of the devil. Hey, you guys, are you there? Wi-Fi off real quick, like. Let me know if you guys are still there, because I had to like switch from my Wi-Fi to my hotspot. Something weird fucking happened. I don't know what it is, but I see the stream is still active. So I'm gonna wait till you guys respond first, because I know when you're on StreamYard, the comment section is delayed. Are you guys still there? Let me know you guys are still there before I proceed to give you what you need. Still there. Okay, Erica says still there. Perp says we're still here. Dr. Chris says we're still here. Just be real. What's going on, boo? Yes. Okay, still here. All right. I swear. Whenever I'm doing the Lord's work, raw, the technology demon always comes for a nigga. Always comes. Okay, we still here. Okay, let me make sure my phone. Okay, all right. So I kind of forgot where the fuck I was, but nonetheless, the world looks very different for broken people. When you are broken and you are in pain. Hey, Wiley, what's going on, boo? Hey, TC Cake. When you are wounded as fuck, the world looks very different. For healed people, for optimistic people, for people who walk in love, the world looks totally different to them. This is why conversations between pessimists and optimists always get intense, and they never can agree upon anything, because everybody is looking at the world through their vibration, through their personal vibration. If I personally believe in love and believe in hope and believe in healing, and you, on the other hand, are constantly always expecting shit to go wrong, and you expect everything comes to a fucking end and nothing, lasts, and all of these are excuses to not be fucking accountable and to not be committed and to ultimately not trust. Okay, and so it's important to not only be in love, but to also really evaluate what people's fucking worldviews are when you get with them. Like, bitch, what is your worldview? What is your perspective? What is your actual outlook on life? Because that's going to tell you a lot about the way people are going to engage you emotionally and how they're not going to engage your ass emotionally either. Gosh, I kind of hated that there was a little glitch up, because I kind of really forgot what the fuck I was. But just going back to August and Jada. So Jada was a wounded empath, didn't know who the fuck she was, attempting to heal herself by loving August Alsina to health. And like most men, he was unconscious as fuck and solely depending on her love, not realizing that he also had a sole responsibility to also love his fucking self. That the goal was not to just latch on to the titty of the one who fucking loves you, but to use that love to also heal up all of your own bullshit, okay? Something that oftentimes does not happen, especially within Western societies, because all of our vowels and all of our psychology and all of our philosophy around romantic relationships in the Western world has totally to do with codependency. It's about finding the one, and then that one committing to your foolishness and your bullshit forever. And it's about sticking together, even if you insist upon hurting the motherfucker and breaking the motherfucker and doing the motherfucker wrong and not ever appreciating the motherfucker. That we put a lot of emphasis on the virtues required for a relationship, but not the fucking condition. Bitch, I'm not going to love you. I'm gonna love you, bitch, but I'm not gonna be committed to your ass if you are abusing me, girl. I'm also, because I'm understanding of human dynamic, girl, I'm going to be understanding that you're broken in whatever way you're broken, bitch, but I'm not going to be with you if your intent is to have me enable you, if your intent is to not actually rectify your shit. Like, you're going to have to stop cheating. You're going to, I can get over your cheating one time, maybe two times. I can get over various things, but there has to be a intentionality on your end to actually grow and get better. That is what I can stick around for. For me personally, I know that perfect people don't exist. And while I do also recognize that there are lovers who are just more prepared to make a healthy relationship work versus other people, I personally do make provisions for human fault. Matter of fact, I make provisions, a lot of provision for human fault. This is how I stuck it out with my ex for so long and through so fucking much. Whether it was prison, whether it was infidelity, whether it was narcissism, whether it was just all the fucking shit that I endured, okay? But I would have had no problem being loyal through those things if I would have also saw a man who was hungry for healing and taking his own, being personally proactive on his own about his healing. Like, if you're only going to counseling because I want you to, that's not enough. I need you to also want to go to counseling, because you taking the initiative to seek the right spiritual help. You taking the motherfucking initiative to also be interested in therapy and going to therapy lets me know that your own heart is after healing and progress and evolution. And I need to see that as your lover, because when I see you personally hungry for healing and hungry, okay, for wholeness, that allows me to be compassionate towards you in your walk that you're going to fucking stumble in nonetheless. But when I see you being proactive about your healing, that lets me know that you're on the fucking way, and I can sustain my hope. I can sustain my faith in you. I'm not worried about you being perfect. I just need to know that you're passionate and that you yourself are aspiring to be healed and to be whole. And that comes with independently taking care of yourself too. Not only just, you know, looking for my love and looking for me to hold your hand and walk you through and looking to suck on me and make me your healing. I'm not your healing, because guess what? When I'm not well myself, I'm going to need you to be the better person when my own shit is being coughed up. And if you ain't doing the work, bitch, and you only using my fucking titty when I need my goddamn titty, and you ain't got shit to stand on, now I got to worry about the shit that I need and also deal with your codependent ass, and you projecting your anger on me because I'm taking away something from you that you should also have on your own. Every relationship needs to have equilibrium, okay? It's not okay for there to just be one partner who is doing the hand holding, and one partner who's willing to be patient, and one partner who's willing to atone for all the fucking sins in a relationship. The other partner also needs to extend patience, extend compassion, and also be built up enough to substitute my lack of self-love when I'm having one of those days, or when something, you know, traumatizing, a fucking disappointment happens in my fucking life. And so if we're both just dependent upon each other and neither one of us are doing enough on our own to make ourselves whole, we're going to have nothing for each other when neither one of us are on our grid, when neither one of us are standing upright. We're going to fall face first into each other, and there's going to be a fucking implosion. So healing is fucking necessary, because no one person has the capacity to sustain a relationship on their own. You need your partner to be strong. Your partner needs you to be strong, and it's okay for y'all to feed off of each other, but you all need to also have your own independent, self-sustaining love, not only for yourself, but also for your partner in times where they can't love themselves for whatever reason, okay? Everybody is going to have their time to be the healer in a relationship, and everybody is going to have their time to be the bad guy in a relationship, okay? So that love and that healing is necessary. Now, bringing it back to Jada and Will Smith. What I love about Will Smith and Jada is that, first of all, they're very transparent and they're very open. Apparently, a lot of people around them told them to not even speak to this situation, to just let it, you know, breeze over, just let August say what he gotta say, let the shit blow over, act like nothing ever fucking happened, and keep fucking moving. But I really appreciated them actually addressing the issue, them talking about a time in their life where their relationship wasn't working, their marriage wasn't fucking working, and that they were about to make a definitive decision about the fate of their marriage, which was to end it in divorce. And I think it's important for people who are on their own love journey and need examples of what relationships look like from the inside, okay? Oftentimes, as young people who are also falling in love and learning our love language and learning how to show up and be great lovers to each other, all we've seen is from an outside in perspective. We've only seen relationships happen and then not happen. We haven't seen really like the inner workings of how do you work through that shit when one person is here and one person is there. What is the process of coming back to the middle when there's a disagreement, when there's a transgression? We know that it's easy to quit their relationship. That ain't what the fuck I want to know. We know it's easy to fucking divorce. I don't want to know that shit. I want to know what the fuck is the process of actually repairing shit in a relationship. This is what I also appreciated about Jay-Z and Beyonce. Even though they put their shit in the form of art and music, I still appreciated the information. I appreciated Lemonade. I appreciated what it was, 444, 411, whatever the fuck Jay-Z shit was. And I also appreciated the interviews he did where he opened up about his infidelity and about his approach to helping to heal Beyonce of the transgressions he brought about in the relationship. He was the one having threesomes and foursomes and fivesomes and about to lose his child and lose his wife over a bunch of salacious fucking women that don't bring nothing to the table other than their fucking pussies. And here he was about to lose the mother of his children, lose his fucking goddess, and also the ego that came up in him when he realized that Beyonce wanted to share what they went through and wanted to do it artistically. And what I really, really respect, and I will always say this about Jay-Z, I just spoke about this a few months ago during quarantine. I appreciate Jay-Z being a man and being able to put his ego aside and say, look, I'm about to be embarrassed if you tell people what has happened between us, if you tell people what I did to you. But I love the fact that he needed his wife more than he needed public fucking approval, and that he loved his fucking wife enough to say, you know what? I don't give a fuck if I'm put to shame publicly if it means that I'll have you in its fucking place. I had to respect that. And it takes big balls and big pussy hair and big clitoris meat, okay, to be able to stand in your shit and own your shit, and also be clear enough in yourself to understand what the greater priority of your life is, which is the tabloids speaking nice about me, being able to save face publicly, or really being able to continue to hold the woman who I can depend on, whose loyalty and love for me betters me. Hell yeah, I'm going with the love. Fuck all of you motherfuckers' approval. Now, that's a rare case, okay? Because oftentimes what happens when motherfuckers have transgressions in relationships is that the motherfucker who cheated, who lied, who beat up on you, who wasted your time, who embarrassed you, who humiliated you, like in my case, they want access to you. They want access to that love and that relationship. And they also want to come in and say, I want you, but you have to be over what I did to you by this time. Sorry, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. You don't get to abuse me, use me, abandon me, neglect me, disregard me, disrespect me, and then you decide when I should be over it. The only posture the motherfucker who actually did the wrong in their relationship has is to commit to loving you. That's the only thing that any hurt motherfucker wants to hear out of your mouth, bitch, is, you know what? I don't give a fuck how long it takes. I don't give a fuck how long I gotta be here. I'm going to sit my black ass right here and I'm going to love you back to fucking health because I did it, and I'm going to serve my time for fucking doing it. And I'm going to sit right here and offer my love and my compassion and my understanding and my patience and put aside what I want right now. Because of course what I want right now is for this awkward phase between us to be over. Because I don't want to continue to feel guilty about the shit that I did. And I don't want you complaining and throwing it in my face all the fucking time. But somebody who's really taking full accountability ain't worried about what they fucking feel. When you really are being empathetic and you're really seeking forgiveness, you have put aside all your shit to be completely understanding and empathetic toward the person you have fucking hurt. There is no you when you are seeking forgiveness. There is you and your needs and what the fuck you want, and your time is non-existent when you are sincerely seeking forgiveness. So just as a FYI to all the men and the women out there who done blew your relationship to smithereens because you done been immature, you was cheating, you was lying, you bamboozled a bitch, you whatever, and you're looking to restore that relationship, the only fucking thing you can do is offer your love, period. Love me, bitch, and sit down. I'll do the rest of the work. I got the harder work to do, okay? You actually got it easy, bitch, because I'm still allowing you to have access to this cooch, to this pussy, to this dick, to this love, to this home, to this everything while I work through my shit. I'm the bitch who actually has the harder task, okay? Because I still have to find a way to be a lover to you now and also put aside all the fucking mutation and hurt and arrows and knives that you put in my fucking back. But all you got to do is trust me to work through that shit, and I will. You just have to offer the love and the love only. No stipulations, no fucking red writing, no conditions, bitch. If you love me like you say you love me and you want me like you say you want me, bitch, you will be just fine sitting the fuck down and doing everything you can to support me, supporting us, supporting me, and getting back to where we used to be, okay? So just sit the fuck down. What my ex literally told me when he came back into my life, the first day that I let him back into our life, okay? We was in this bed, and it was about this time of the night, and I was cuddled up into him, had my head on his chest, and he said, Davion, I want you to listen to me. I said, okay. He said, I understand everything that I took you through. You don't have to rush to have sex with me. You don't have to rush to feel okay about me. I just want you to know that I am willing to be patient, that I have your back, and that you take whatever time you need, because I understand that I did enough shit to not ever be back in your good graces ever again. So the fact that you're even opening yourself and allowing this to even manifest between us is a miracle in and of itself, okay? That was beautiful. 6 days later, it was, I mean, I'm gonna give you time. But I mean, if you don't come around, if you don't get together, I'm gonna leave. And you know what I said? Just leave now. Just leave now. That ain't love. That ain't what I want to hear. And how fucking dare you make the damage you did to me about your convenience and about your comfortability? How dare you deeply disassociate and make this about how you feel? Do you think, as the person who has to, me being a person who got to rebuild my trust in you, is in a place to remotely give a fuck about how uncomfortable you are and how insecure you are in me rebuilding that trust? Because see, now you got to sit in an uncomfortable vulnerability, okay? Because now you thinking, what if I sit my ass here and love this bitch and love this nigga, but the whole time he's plotting in his head how to fuck to hurt me. He's plotting in his head how to fucking cheat on my ass. What if he's, well, you know what? That's understandable fear. But I don't give a fuck about that fear, because if you had never cheated and had never lied and had never played all the fucking games you played, guess what, bitch? you wouldn't be in this position to begin with. We still could have been happily ever motherfucking after. So do you think that I give a flying motherfucking fuck about what your personal fears are? Being a motherfucker who did the damage, don't give a fuck, my nigga. Don't give a good goddamn. And that was the real contention in our relationship. That was the real breaking point in our relationship, because he wanted me to speed it up, bitch. And the only thing I did was speed his ass on up out the motherfucking door, girl. There you go. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord did not split your motherfucking ass. Because just like I healed the first time without your help, bitch, I don't need your help now. But if I am going to accept you back, bitch, and you want the benefits of this love that God gave me for you, what you are going to do is sit the fuck down and wait on it. And I love you enough to give it to you, but I have to give it back to you fully, organically, okay? Which means that patience, that's a virtue, bitch, you're gonna have to find you some virtue, girl. You got to find you some virtue, because see, at the end of the day, I don't lose no sleep over not loving you. When I walked away, bitch, I went on by my life. You came back. You keep calling. You keep texting. Even to this day, bitch, I got... Hold the fuck on. I got jewelry and shit that you're buying me, sending me. You need this love. You need this love. But you can't put no demands on that love, because you ruined the vessel that love was coming through for you, okay? So now what you have the task of doing is sitting down and watching the vessel piece itself back together to where it can be a proper temple and a proper home again for that love that was ordained for you. And if you ain't got the patience or the fortitude to do that, you can get the fuck on, because when this temple is rebuilt and repaired in all the ways in which it stood before you walked your tackhead ass back into my life, that love would just be ordained for someone else, even if you never get to benefit from it again. And that is perfectly fine with me, because I am not pigeonholing this love to simply only be for you. But if you're going to be here, you're not going to pressure me. You're not going to put no stipulations on me. And you're not going to fucking punish me because I'm not healing on your fucking time. Okay? Once again, that accountability is something that men, Black men particularly, really fucking have an issue with, okay? Black men in general only want to atone, but for so much of their wrong shit. No, bitch. You can't atone for 50% of it. You can't atone for 35% of it, girl. You got to atone for all of it, bitch. If you came and you spilt the milk and that milk flew all over the walls and it ruined the paint and it ruined the carpet and it ruined the lamp, guess what you're responsible for replacing? The paint on the walls, the motherfucking rug, and the motherfucking lamp, bitch. Everywhere that damage went, bitch, you are responsible for it. And if you don't want to, stay the fuck away. But that's the name of the game, okay? That's the name of the game. When you're the one seeking forgiveness, you get to make no demands, bitch. All you get to do is be humbled. That's all. That's the only posture, okay? So for any of you who thought you had demands, for any of you who thought that in forgiveness you have a say-so, I'm here to humbly remind you, bitch, you have no say-so. Your feelings are not to be acknowledged. The only position and seat you have has the name humility on it, girl. When BET and MTV rolls around for their music award shows, girl, and they have the names of the stars on them, oh, this is Will, this is Nicki's chair, this is Cardi and Offset's chair, bitch. Your chair is named humility, girl. This is your seat. Humility. Humility, hunty. Okay? And if we have to label 6 more so that you can have several seats in humility, we can do that too, boo. But that's your shit right there, girl. That's your VIP spot, boo. It's section humility. Now back to Will and Jada. It seems that they have made it through, made it above their bullshit. And a lot of people may look at it like, oh, we can't look at these celebrities because they go through the same shit, blah, blah, blah. But I think that's what's actually really beautiful about real love between two human beings, is that it's not perfect. Relationships are hard. Relationships can start off well, and they can endure some very tough times. That's why love is so significant. And I think a bigger testament to love is not a perfect relationship. A bigger testament to love is, what did that love give y'all the power to survive between each other? And when I see people like Jada and Will Smith, and I see people like my grandparents, and see people like my aunts and uncles whose relationships have endured miscarriages, have endured infidelity, have endured bankruptcy, have endured domestic violence. Wow, there's something to say about those issues in and of itself. When people come out of those issues and still have a love and a heart for each other and go on to create a better relationship from that broken shit, that's all that I can ask for. When I was young and immature, I was unwise enough to ask for a perfect relationship. Now what I ask for instead is a perfect love. Because a perfect love leaves space for the imperfections of the people that you love. And those imperfections are going to be there. Okay? And as long as you have somebody who's working through their perfections, managing their imperfections, trying to reduce the things that are problematic within themselves, I think that's it. That's all you can really ask for, is somebody who's willing to work on it. Don't need it to be perfect all the time. I don't need a perfect person. Just need somebody who's passionate about being complete. Somebody who's passionate about being well. A person who's passionate about being introspective. A person who wants to master themselves so that they can utilize their gifts and utilize the best parts of themselves. And those are things that we do have to learn. People don't come packaged with the AA batteries and all the outfits, in tow. People are not Barbie dolls. People are not action figures. People come fresh into life, and they come into their experiences that transform them either for the better or for the worse, or maybe some combination of the two. Okay? And then people hopefully experience inspiration in different ways that allow them to understand that you do get to have a say-so in your conduct in life. You do get to decide whether you want to be the person, whether you want to be a faith-based person, whether you want to be a compassionate person, whether you want to be somebody who can withstand hardship, somebody who's not intimidated by suffering, by sorrow. These are all things that can deter us, especially in relationships. Sorrow and suffering terrifies us, but all greatness is refined through suffering. Therefore, love proves itself through the surviving of the dark night of the soul between two people. You're never going to have any relationship in your life that's not going to be challenged. And the question is not, why is this challenge here? The question is, will this love between us make us powerful enough to survive the challenge, to navigate the challenge between us? We have got to get over this very whimsical, elementary fantasy about life that you're looking for the perfect amount of money and the perfect community and the perfect set of friends so that you never have to suffer again. suffering and greatness, suffering and wholeness are synonymous to each other. You're going to earn that which means everything to you. The question is, are you going to surrender? Can you surrender your ego? Because that's the real only reason why any of these obstacles show up in our romantic relationships, show up in our fucking finances, is because of the issue of egotism. And the more that you refine your ego, let go of your ego, the more fluid and bountiful and prosperous you will find your life to be. But if you are deeply committed to your ego, if you have egocentricness embedded within your being in any kind of a way, the love of the universe is after conquering that egocentricness, is after conquering that selfishness, okay? So you're always going to be met with conflict. Conflict not designed to break you, but to include you, to bring you in. Because when you're egocentric, when you're selfish, when you're egotistical, when you're uncompromising, when you lack versatility in your living, in your mental, in your thinking, in your feeling, okay? As much as it may make you feel good to be stubborn and to be a brute, what you're really doing is separating yourself from all that is good and all that is great. And because the spirit responsible for creation is after your greatness and your inclusion and your well-being, that ego shit got to be chastised out of you, okay? Chastisement cultivates discipline. Discipline cultivates healthy fucking living, okay? And those of you who are getting your ass whipped the most in life, for one, probably have the most ego issues, but for two, you're the closest to the throne. You're the closest to the throne of God, okay? The closest to the throne of God. You're too close to be slipping right now. So every slip, pow, against that ass, baby. You're too close. Too much riding on you. Too much riding on you. Too many people riding on you, okay? So to whom much is given, much is required. So taking the time to heal ourselves, to address ourselves, when we come into conflict with each other, trying to not blame each other, but to address our response to each other, trying to analyze why am I responding this way emotionally? Why am I responding this way mentally? Why am I responding this way physically? Bringing more of your seeking about you and not the person who you're engaging in conflict with, who you're engaging in this anger and wrath with, but really looking in the mirror. If we as a people learn to just do more of that, we will be better. And it seems that Will and Jada have done that. The issue is not open relationships. All relationships have fucking issues, okay? All relationships, monogamous relationships, open relationships. If you think, it's never going to be what type of relationship you in, whether it's polygamy, monogamy, or polyamory, okay? Having a healthy relationship, whether it's monogamous, polyamory, or polygamous, is going to come down to the condition of each person's mind and heart. If each person is healthy in here and in here, your relationship, no matter whether it's 3 of y'all asses, 2 of y'all asses, or 16 of y'all asses, can be amazing and fulfilling. The answer is not the threesome. The answer isn't seeing other people. That's not the answer in and of themselves. The answer is in the self-awareness, and it's also in the condition of your heart and your mind. This is what we have to heal, okay? And so I appreciate the conversation. August obviously has some abandonment issues. He's lost a lot of relatives in his life. That has left a lot of holes within him. I can see how Jada would represent a matriarchal figure to him, while also there being a romantic dynamic. Those would be the perfect romantic relationship conditions for him to be very comfortable in. But because he haven't resolved his mommy issues and he hasn't resolved his abandonment issues, and he's looking for that love outside of himself, he's going to continue to miss the mark. And my prayers go out to August. I hope that he gets in some really good therapy where he can deal with his issues, deal with a lot of the tragedy that has come into his life. This wasn't the best situation for him to be in, especially with Jada already being a married person. A lot of people casted a lot of blame on Jada for even dating August in the first place. Like, I think he's 28. She's in what, her 40s or 50. People were saying, what were you thinking? I think Jada wasn't thinking. I think if anything, if you look at it from the eyes of Jada, I think she thought that there was very little liability in this. She probably said to herself, my husband of 20 years, this relationship is going down the fucking drain. I still love my husband and want my relationship. But because she's a woman and a human, she still has needs. She still got a pussy needs. She got emotional needs. You know, she needs companionship. And so she probably saw August Alsina as the perfect young, fresh, big dick nigga who probably is still at a point in his life where he don't want no strong commitments, where he still wants to fuck every hoe and every chick backstage, and wants to completely indulge in the life of being young and handsome and wealthy and rich. And so she probably thought, well, this could be a cute jump off. And I think she never actually expected August to develop strong feelings. I think she thought he was too young for this, so I don't have to worry about him falling in love. He won't. He's August Alsina. I think she thought, I can work through my shit with Will, figure my shit out, and have me a young jump off. And when I'm ready to quit this shit, he probably won't give a fuck anyway, because he's young and dumb and don't want commitment like most young niggas like him don't want. And so for her, I think that this was actually more fucking idealistic than anything. But she was wrong about August, because August has a lot of holes in his soul. He had a larger capacity to be emotionally present and required a lot more love than the typical young guy, because of all of the tragedy and all of the abandonment and displacement in his fucking life. So 2020 is living up to his fucking year of exposure. We're having personal confrontation within ourselves, and we're having collective confrontation, and all of our demons, all of our baggage. Our Saturn has returned. It's all coming up. It's all coming out. The graves are fucking opening now. The past is coming back to fucking haunt you. The future is daunting and quickly fucking approaching. And breathing, taking it all in, dealing with it, and finally dealing with it right. Everybody's shit is going to come up in this 2020 era. And then the fact that we got Pluto's retrograde happening right now, okay? If your past is coming back to haunt you, the best thing you can do right now, irregardless of where you are personally in your life, whether you're still married, whether, you know, you finally got your business going, you're finally in a good place. If your past is coming, it means that it's undealt with. Stop what you're doing right now and just deal with it. And deal with it in a way that allows that past to rest in peace. If your own feelings about your past are coming up, don't shun them, don't run. Sit in it and deal with it until it can rest in peace, okay? All of this is coming up for the sake of us being able to have some solidarity. So don't scoot your problems aside. Don't find a cute cubby hole in your soul to tuck that shit away with. It's time to rest our trauma and our pain and our loneliness and our hurt and our lack of self-love and our anti-love and our bigotry and our egotism, it's time for some real check and balances. And this age is requiring true balance and true righteousness. And you either gonna fold or you gonna transform. There is no middle space right now. Everybody is at a crossroads, personally and collectively. You can survive this. You can deal with your life. You can deal with the issues of your life. You can deal with the sadness of your life. You can deal with the trauma of your life. You can. The glory and grace and mercy and love of God is with you. Do not be afraid to deal with your life. It is yours and it must be dealt with. Deal with your life. God will support you and provide the resources accordingly as you deal with your life. But deal with it. All will be well, but you must deal with it for there to be genuine, wholehearted wellness that resides in your life. Because a lot of us only did enough to have some sense of wellness. A lot of us only did enough to have a little bit of a peace of mind. God don't want no partiality. Bitch, I come so that you may have all the peace of mind, a total peace of mind, a complete heart, a complete spirit, a cup that overflows is the standard. No more mediocrity, no more partiality, no more. The standard is the cup must overflow. Your health, your wealth, your emotions, your mental, the grace, the goodness, the favor, the bountifulness of God must overflow. You cannot open that door somewhat. You cannot partially open that door. You can't just open the screen door or close the screen door and have the main door open. All the windows of your temple must be open. God is coming for it all. He's coming for it all. He's coming and wrecking shop through every motherfucking part of your fucking soul. This is the time for total spiritual reckoning. And he's doing a broad sweep, baby, from top to fucking bottom. Every place you hid shit away from inside of yourself, everything you ever ran away from in yourself, God is coming for you. God is coming for it. And if you fight this thing, you ain't gonna win, because there ain't been one man who has won against God. Surrender and allow the work of God to be done in you for once and fucking all. For once and fucking all. Just let him have it. Let him have all the pain. Give him all of the burden for once and for all. Don't put a slab of your burden in God's hand and you keep the remaining portion. For once in your fucking life, give all of it to God. All of it. All of it. All of it. Give it to him. All of it. All of it. God wants all of the skeletons of America. It wants its police brutality. It wants its racism. It wants its homophobia. It wants its transphobia. It wants its anti-blackness. It wants its patriarchy. It wants its privilege. God wants it. God is in confrontation. With the soul of the earth, God is in confrontation. With the soul of our country, God is in confrontation with your children, with their parents, with their parents' parents. God has come to reclaim. And he needs all of the poison and venom sucked from the land, from the children of the land, from the children of the earth. God has come to pour all of the shit out of us. If you fight against God to give it up, you will lose your mind. You will go insane. Your emotional and mental health will collapse. If you find that you are collapsing right now mentally and emotionally, it is because you are trying to fight God and you're not going to win. Surrender. 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 Because fighting and both surrendering encompass pain. But you have been promised to live through the surgery you willingly will permit yourself to have. That is what surrenderance is. Surrenderance is, I am aware that I am undergoing surgery and I am willingly coming into the doctor's office and going to allow the doctor to do what he needs to do, irregardless of my fear, irregardless of my cynicalism, irregardless of my doubt, irregardless. I am going to surrender control. I'm going to surrender my expectations. Surrender. You gotta surrender it. Our country has to surrender. If we do that, God will restore our people, our land, and our hearts. But we all have to surrender. Okay? I was inspired by that red table talk between Jada and Will. I was inspired by Will's teachings in their Father's Day special about suffering and the role of fatherhood, the role of fathers in the lives of their children. I was inspired. The rooster is coming back. And Will and Jada have figured out how to talk about their past, how to perceive their past. Now, you and I need to figure out how to speak, relate, and perceive ours. Because Jada and Will ain't the only ones at the red table, bitch. The world is at the red table. Every person watching tonight is at the red table. Everyone. So I'm going to get out of here. Forgive, love, do your work. Yes, it's okay to be afraid. Yes, it's okay to worry about how this may turn out. But if you can be afraid and be worried while still surrendering, the Lord will be with you. Just surrender beyond all else. I got to get out of here. I love you guys so much. I thank you guys so much for everything. It has been an amazing journey. I'm thankful. And you're not alone. When you're doing your work, just remember, I'm doing mine too. And it's hard, but it's honest. It's hard, but it's all we all got. And we got to love each other through it. I gotta go. I love you guys. God be with you all. Be with your families. And I will see you guys